everyone, it's Luna, and this is day 2 of my year in a day training. First off, I want to apologize for the glare on my glasses. I'm kind of blind and need my glasses most of the time. And that's just something camera attached to laptop can't fix that. But today's exercise was about words and how some words are upsetting for other people to hear. The words were Wicca, witchcraft, power, ritual, magic, occult, pagan, spell, and earth religion. The first question was what my comfort level was with each word. And what I did, I based it off of a scale of 1 through 10, with 10 being my most comfortable and 1 being most uncomfortable. With Wicca, I chose 9. With witchcraft, 6. With power, 10. Ritual, 10. Magic, 7. Occult, 5. Pagan, 10. Spell, 5. And earth religion, 5. With 5 being neutral. I wasn't uncomfortable, but I wasn't super comfortable. It's not something that I use in my everyday vocabulary. The next question was, how do I understand each word? I see Wicca as not only a religion, but as a lifestyle centering itself around the energies within the universe. So Wicca wouldn't only be my religion, but how I live my life. It's a lot like most Christians should be, is that, yes, that's how they believe, but they follow the guidelines based on their religion. And then witchcraft is the practice of folklore, ancient beliefs passed down from generation to generation, built on culture, upbringing, and instinct. Witchcraft would be, for me, my interpretation of it is what our ancestors would do, like the healers. The healers would use certain herbs for certain ailments. People would pray. That's a certain form of witchcraft. It's the actual practice of it. Power is how I describe energy, the universal all that is. Ritual is something you do every day. Daily rituals as well as seasonal rituals to honor mundane and the ethereal. So ritual could be as mundane as brushing your teeth every morning and every night, or going outside and just basking in the sunlight. It can be as simple as thanking the deity for another day, or as elaborate as a seasonal ritual honoring the birth of God or something. As for occult, I rarely use the word occult. I see it as the meaning of dark mysteries, and I have yet to feel that my path is a very dark mystery. Yes, a lot of pagan religions are based on mysteries. That's originally how it started. You had to be a part of a specific group to know what they did, but I don't see it as some dark, mysterious mystery. I just see that these are mysteries that you have to take a certain path to find and figure out on your own. As for pagan is what I define those who go down to their country beliefs and worship accordingly. Pagan, if we're going into syntax, pagan really means just country dweller. That was the original meaning for pagan. And Christians back then would call anybody else who wasn't part of the city and part of Christian belief a pagan, because Christianity was mostly city-based, while the country dwellers would use their own beliefs to deal with their everyday lives. They were really, just miles between houses, so they were by themselves most of the time. And yes, they may have believed in a higher power, but not necessarily Yahweh or Jesus or anything, because of the fact that they lived out in the boonies. It was the beliefs that everyone had grown up on before the Judeo-Christian movement. That's what pagan means to me. As for spells, I see spells as another form of prayer. Sometimes like convoluted prayer. Prayer is requesting something usually, or thanking, an invocation of some sort. A spell is pretty much the same thing. It's just sometimes really, it can be as simple as a prayer or as convoluted as some elaborate, I have to set things up and pray and do this and that's what I see a spell as. Nothing mystical or mysterious. And as earth religion is just any religion that centers around the energy, worship, and restoration of the earth. If you're a dirt worshipping tree hugger, that's one earth religion I'm all for. The next question was, how do I imagine that each word impacts other people who are not involved with Wicca? From my own experience, it is based on a combination of upbringing and belief that will affect the reaction of these words from others. Many people have not a clue what Wicca is, or even pagan, but as soon as you mention earth religion and witchcraft, they automatically think of hippies or devil worship. Some quickly jump to the conclusion regardless of proper definition. I think most of it is based in fear of mysteries involved. The occult, per se. Spells and magic are usually scoffed at, with the thinking attached to the craft and Harry Potter. Most reactions are based on fear, ignorance, and just downright stupidity. I don't even want to think too far into it. It grates on my nerves. I remember not too long ago talking to a friend of mine who's a Jehovah's Witness and telling her about the history of the symbol of the cross and how it had ancient meanings. It was originally the staff of Apollo. It was also a symbol for protection. But before the Christians took it over, that's what it meant. And I was telling her how a friend of mine was pagan and she knew. Like, a girl had gone up in her face and told her, oh, you can't wear a cross because you're not Christian. And she tried to explain that the cross was originally an ancient symbol. And so my friend asked me what pagan was. And I told her she was, specifically Wicca, pagan, non-Christian. So she had just automatically went, oh, so she's a devil worshiper. Now, before I continue, I have no problem with Satanists. I have met some Satanists who are the most well-rounded people. Satanism, in essence, is just worshiping mostly yourself, the material things, instead of just deity and putting everything in deity's hands. Most Satanists that I have come across to are very well-rounded. Some not so much, but for the most part, they are very nice people. What I find to be devil worship is those who worship evil. And frankly, when it comes to good and evil, it's a gray area for me, because there's no true evil and there's no true good. I find that there has to be a balance for everything. And that's why I love those Discordianism. Anyway, I'm going off on a different tangent. What I really don't like is just the assumptions that people jump into. One was, somebody asked me if I could fly like in The Craft. No, I can't. Another person asked me if the spells in Harry Potter are real. And it's based mostly on ignorance and fear. If somebody is raised growing up, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, it's bad for you, it's just going to keep going. It's like an endless cycle. Anyway, that was pretty much my day 2 exercise about words, and I hope that you will sit down and think about these words and what they mean to you. You guys have a good night and a happy Thanksgiving.